So, I mean, it varies between 100 and 130 tons of commingled, which is like plastic, glass, and metals. Paper is about 200 tons, but we don't process that here.
Oh, and so when like does this recycling thing just do Montgomery County?
This is the recycling for only Montgomery County per day.
Every day.
Yes. So every day, like Friday. Friday we had 109 tons of commingled material, and that's just Friday. Mondays is a lot more. Mondays will be like 120, 130. So and then like it definitely varies on like normally like holiday weekends. Like if there's like holiday weekend like July 4th, we got about like 160. I think that per 160 tons just for the next Monday.
So like with that data, you use it to prepare for like tomorrow's amount of trash. Is there like a specific amount it can hold?
Yeah, so we can process, like everything is moving. So from 6 a.m. then the conveyors start, everything is moving. And we can carry our capacity right now, because we were built almost 25 years ago, our capacity is 8 to 10 tons per hour, but we process up to 18 and 22 tons per hour. So we're not built for the amount that we have. So we're definitely way over capacity. Go ahead.
Is paper recycled more or is plastic?
Paper actually, paper is a lot, well, paper versus plastic, definitely more paper. But we do have a lot of paper here. You'll see it when you go downstairs, or go upstairs. But the plastic, glass, and metal is what we put as the commingled. So it depends. Definitely depends on the day.
Do you sort it like what can be trash and what can be recycled?
No, that's your job. So at home, you guys sort the trash versus the recycling. So where are you guys from?
Fairfax.
Fairfax County. The last group was from Fairfax. But yeah, so you guys, I think you guys are single stream, like you put everything in one bin. Does your paper and plastic and glass and everything go in one bin?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys are single stream, huh?
It's a bit bigger for me.
How?
We put all of the bottle stuff in the one bin and all of the paper and stuff goes in the other bin.
Are you from Fairfax County too, or from a different county? So you separate your paper from everything else?
Yeah.
So the way so I think the entire Fairfax County is single stream where everything gets recycled together. If you separate it, that's dual stream. So dual stream is when you have paper and cardboard, like in that bin back there. Like in Montgomery County, each house has a bin like that and a bin like this. One for paper and cardboard and one for commingled or everything else that's recyclable. So our paper in Montgomery County are places that have dual stream where they separate their paper from everything else. If the paper that's recycled is worth a lot more. Anybody have any idea why?
Because paper is more commonly used than plastics and metals.
Yeah, but if we separate our paper from our commingled, why would ours be worth more money than, say, if we put it all in one bin and have it like that?
Because you could reuse the paper.
Well, we can always reuse it, even if it's a single stream. So why is it more expensive to have, or why would people pay more for paper that was separated out at home before coming to a facility like this than if they went to a facility all mixed in together?
More organized?
It is more organized and it's a lot cleaner. So our paper is cleaner. So that's where the cost values are. So people that don't mind paper being a little bit dirty, like you know how you have recycled paper that comes brown sometimes?
Yeah.
So that's normally from a single stream district, and then if you have like pure white recycled paper, a lot of the times that will come from a dual stream place.
This is a dual stream place.
In Montgomery County, we're a dual stream. So we here, basically what happens is all the recycling trucks come and dump everything here, and all the commingled items like these, plastic, glass, and metals get sorted here. Paper we don't process yet, that gets shipped out by the truckload to Office Paper Systems, not too far from here. But we sort through all the commingled. So we have to, it's hand sorted, and then the metals are sorted by magnet.
So we've actually learned a bit about like what types of like different types of plastics or like certain types like they were out.
Yeah.
Like so what type of
So the first issue, not really issue, but the first step of recycling is for people at home, right? So basically what they want to do is get people to know what is recyclable. So you guys are living in a single stream area, so it's basically recycling or trash. So if I have a pizza box, right, can this go in the recycling bin or does it have to go in the trash? Recycling bin. Well, what if the bottom has like grease in here, trash, right? Would you put the whole thing in the trash?
No.
No. Just half the bottom, just rip the top off, and you can put it in the recycling bin, the top part. So what about my orange juice container? What do we have? Recycling. Well, what do you have to do first? So the first thing is drink all the orange juice. Orange juice is not recyclable, but you can leave the cap on if you rinse it out. Sometimes the caps can, the companies, depending on who's buying it, will take the caps with it. It depends. You can either throw them in the trash. If you put them in your commingled, it'll actually get sorted with the glass because it's about the same size as a piece of glass that can be broken. Or you can just leave it on and put it in your paper recycling bin if you're in a dual stream area, or just put it in a recycling bin. 1 second. So the aluminum foil, where does it go? Trash or recycling? Why?
It's metal.
It's metal, right? So what if I baked like lasagna last night and I burnt cheese onto the foil? Then what? Huh?
You may clean off the cheese.
Yes, you can do your best to clean the cheese off, but if at the end of the day you can't get what's burnt on there, if there's more food than foil, then it has to go in the trash. What about peanut butter? Peanut butter containers.
Recycling.
Yeah, so these go in the recycling bin. But what do you have to do first?
Eat all the peanut butter,
Definitely. What else?
then take the cap out and throw it away.
No, you don't have to take the cap off. So a lot of some places tell you to wash it. Now we just want you to put it in the recycling bin like this. Why do you think we're telling people to just put it in the recycling bin this way? Any ideas?
Maybe so they can test about how much peanut butter there is left in there, how much they're eating.
No, not that scientific. But people don't really want to spend time to clean these out. These are not the easiest containers to clean, right? So they'll just say, just make sure it's empty. That way we can sort it. So I have a shopping addiction and get a whole bunch of these. Where are they going?
Recycling.
Recycling. Why?
Because it's plastic.
It's plastic, right?
It's a number 2.
No, it's number 4, dude.
So this is number 4 plastic. So you guys said that there are how many types of plastics?
7.
Which one is not recyclable, do you know?
5, 6, and 7.
Is that true for Fairfax County?
Yeah.
5, 6, and
No, 5, 6, and 7. It just depends on what type of recycling place you have.
It depends on like basically the county that you're in. In Montgomery County, we just don't take number 6 because we have a buyer that actually wants number 7, but not number 6.
What happens if like plastic 6 would come in there? Would you find the person that does it?
No, we're not gonna like if someone put their styrofoam egg carton in the recycling bin and it does have a number 6 on it, because number 6 is polystyrene, which is styrofoam. We're not gonna track down people that put number 6 in the recycling bin. We track down people who put like dangerous things in the recycling bin.
Like what?
Ammunition, that's all.
Like things that are explosive, we definitely need to know that. And that has happened before. So we don't take number 6 here. Does anyone have any idea why we wouldn't take styrofoam? Or why we wouldn't recycle styrofoam?
Because styrofoam, it takes a certain amount of years to like decompose. It takes maybe over 100 years to do that, and
So all plastic does take about over 100 years to decompose.
so there's no point in just like having it here.
Well, I mean, we recycle it, so we're gonna melt it down and make it into something new. Why wouldn't we want to melt down styrofoam and make it something new?
Because styrofoam, probably it wouldn't like nothing much would happen with it.
What do you mean?
Like
You're on the right track, but what do you mean by nothing much would happen?
because the styrofoam, when you burn it, it's probably just gonna stay the same, but some parts might fall off, but it's probably just gonna stay the same until it's like until you have to until maybe 100 years later.
So the problem with styrofoam is actually, so these are actually number 6. These red solo cups. So they're not recyclable in Montgomery County. And I don't think in your county either. But these don't feel like styrofoam, do they?
No.
No.
The beads that make styrofoam plastic or polystyrene beads are packed very, very close together to give it this texture. They're spaced apart, and what you hear when you squeeze styrofoam is the air in between the beads. That's why it sounds so annoying. So these are both the same thing. Are these strong plastics or weak plastics?
Strong.
Weak.
These are very weak. So if I squeeze this, will it crack?
Probably.
If I squeeze my soda bottle, will it crack, or would it just stay? Exactly. So I can squeeze it and it won't crack. But this, if I squeeze too hard, it'll crack and get holes in it, right? These are number 1 plastic, and this is number 6. They kind of feel the same, but number 1 is a lot stronger and it's more flexible. This is flexible, but not as strong.
So, what about the label on it? Like, you see
Oh, they'll be melted off. A lot of times they fall off during the baling process too. So for number 6, this is also number 6. So do pay attention to your other container, because Chobani's always number 5.
Yeah, we throw it away.
Yeah, so pay attention to it. But I'm not telling you not to buy Dannon yogurt. I'm telling you just make sure that you're looking at it. Because every time plastic is recycled, it loses a little bit of its strength. So every time plastic is melted down into the beads, it gets weaker. So styrofoam, number 6 plastic, is already very weak. So if we recycle number 6, what would happen to it?
It'll probably get destroyed and can't be used again.
It will almost be completely destroyed. You're right about that. And it'll be very, very thin oil. It won't even make it to the bead form.
So let's say, so you when you boil it, you add like all numbers.
We don't
like
boil
1,
it.
2, 3.
We heat, they heat
You
it.
heat it, yeah,
Yeah.
heat. So you add all numbers to it, like numbers.
No, we separate all the plastics by their numbers.
So there's like a process for that.
Yes, there is.
Ooh.
You have a question?
How long would it take for number 1 to completely get destroyed? Like, would it take a couple hundred years?
Well, all plastic takes between 100 and 200 years, depending, like high density plastics like this.
Yeah.
Will take a lot longer to decompose. So if it was sitting in a landfill, it would take that long to completely decompose. Yeah, they're number 2 plastic, which is high density plastic.
What's the highest density plastic?
This one? This one and number 5. Like your flower pots,
Which one's more dense, 2 or 5?
I'll say 2. 5 isn't as strong, or it's not as thick or as durable as number 2 is. But it's for a purpose.
So like 5, 6, and 7 is pretty much trash, not like recyclable.
Well, where you live, it would be. If that's what you guys don't recycle.
What about here?
Here, only number 6, because we have, so everything that you guys put in your recycling bin isn't considered trash or waste. For us, it's a commodity. For us, your old soda bottles all have dollar signs on it. So yeah, it's a recycling center, and we care about the environment, but we can make money off of what you guys put in your recycling bin. So in your county, 5, 6, and 7 may not be recyclable because no one wants to buy it. That's how it is for us. No one wants to buy number 6 plastic to recycle it. Because what happens to it when you recycle it? It's very weak. So where you guys live, you guys just may not have a buyer for 5, 6, or 7. We have a buyer that takes number 3 plastic to number 7 plastic, but they don't want number 6. They want 3, 4, 5, and 7.
What about 1 and 2?
But not number 6. We have a buyer that just wants number 1 plastic. We have a buyer that wants black number 1 plastic. We have a buyer that wants color number 2 plastic. Like, it's very specific.
Like, what's colored? Like, is it like a Coca-Cola can if it was colored?
If it was colored, that'd be colored PET. So like these are number 1 plastic, and there's a 1 on it. But because one of them is natural and one of them is black, they're sold separately.
I don't get what you mean by buyer.
Buyer? So where do you think Pepsi gets their soda bottles from?
Pepsi Cola?
Does that make sense? Like their recycled bottles that they use, they come from places like here that sell them to them. But they don't tell us that, oh, we're Pepsi and we want to buy your number one plastic, because they feel like we would charge them more because they're Pepsi and because they make already billions of dollars, and we need that money. So it's not like we can say, oh, you're Pepsi, so you're going to pay us instead of 13 cents per a pound per pet plastic, you're going to pay us $3. They could afford it, probably. They could afford it, but they're going to buy under different names so that we don't know it's really them. It's kind of difficult when you show up in a Pepsi truck to get it. You're not really hiding anything then. Yeah, there's just a truck, it's a giant Pepsi sign, and they're like, we're from Clear Path. I'm like, you're not. But okay. But, I mean, it's those buyers, like, so everything that that you're recycling, someone's buying it after you recycle it. So we sort through it because it's our job to sort it and package it so they can buy it. Do you have a question? Okay. So does anyone have any questions?
I have a question. Does Pepsi actually do the recycling process themselves, or they have like a company?
They have their own facilities that will break down the plastics, and they also have facilities that dig the petroleum out of the ground. So they do both. Petroleum is like the natural form of plastic before they add any chemicals to it.
Like dinosaur, like when it decomposes, it like releases some petroleum, which is like oil, right?
It is.
So, I forgot it.
It's okay. That happens to me too. So, any other questions before we move on? So you guys get how, yes, we care about the environment, but we want money too. You have a question? Do you remember it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I remember. So like you make money out of the plastic that
Yeah.
gets recycled.
So, if something is not able to be recycled, where does it go?
Landfill.
The landfill. Does Fairfax County have a landfill?
Yeah.
I guess I've never seen it before.
They just sold it to rural places.
So, in Montgomery County, we don't have a landfill anymore. Our landfill is actually closed. We burn our trash. So all the trash trucks take the trash over there across the street, and then we transfer into rail cars, and they actually put it on a rail car, and they ship it to Dickerson, where they burn it and convert that into energy, which makes electricity. For all the recycling trucks from Montgomery County come here, all the trash trucks go over there.
So when they like dissolve the trash, like, and it makes electricity, how much electricity would it make? Would it make a lot of electricity, or?
It makes a lot. I think every year we make 90 million kilowatts per hour. So I mean that's a lot, but we sell that to people. Like, there's nothing we don't sell.
Yeah, like to electric companies.
Yes. Hi.
It's a session ongoing. Tell me some information
About.
Recycling. My bucket is completely destroyed.
Okay, you can just go into the office right there and talk to anyone in there.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah.
90 million.
Yeah, thank you. So, we sell everything. Electricity, we sell to like Petco, Potomac Edison.
So like, let's say, is it like the more people recycle, the better it is for you?
It is definitely better. The more people recycle, it's better for the environment. So like Montgomery County would altogether look a lot cleaner and be a lot cleaner. The environment would be a lot healthier. There'd be more of a market, and we wouldn't have to tax the residents, because if we get more recyclable material, then we can sell more, and this place would be self-sufficient, so we could pay for everything that we need. We wouldn't have to tax residents or put a county tax on anything. And then the more we recycle here, and the more trash that's actually trash goes to Dickerson to be burned, they'll make more money off the trash, we'll make more money off the recycling. If they put something, if we don't collect as much recycling and it all goes to the trash, they make more money at Dickerson. But if one day they make a lot of money off electricity and they say tomorrow we're going to have just as much electricity, and they tell all these companies we're going to have this much electricity to sell you tomorrow, and they don't come up with it, what do you think they have to do? So if they promise Pepco, I'm going to give you 6 million kilowatts, because that's what I'm going to have tomorrow, and we only make 3, what do we have to do?
You have to
make more the next day and then.
No, they want it that day. So, well, they have to buy it from someone else. There's solar panels on the roofs of these buildings. They'll have to pull it from us, and then we'll actually have to like pay Pepco back and stuff like that. So, if we don't make what we predict, then we actually owe them money. So what we try to do is have a consistent amount of recyclable materials that are recyclable coming here. That way we don't have much residue, and we try to have trash being put to trash that's supposed to be there. Any questions? So, things that you do not put in your recycling bin. Name one random thing that you do not put in your recycling bin.
Number 6, plastic.
Random. Like the craziest thing you can think of.
Your pet.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to put your pet in the recycling bin. Yeah, that's definitely not something. You definitely don't want to put. Well, I mean, we get animals here, like dead animals, because like, and they go through the recycling bins at night, and they go through there, and then the trucks will like throw the whole bin in there, and not really realize that there was like a raccoon or something.
Decomposing it.
Well, I mean, they kind of crush them.
Oh.
But yeah, you see, like it stinks here, right? There's a lot of things that make that odor. Go ahead.
Banana peel.
That would not go in your recycling bin. That goes where? To the trash. Yeah. Go ahead.
A person?
No. Definitely not. I don't think you've gotten any people in the recycling bin though.
A bomb?
Someone said that last week. You don't want to put a bomb or anything explosive in your recycling bin, although it has happened. We had like someone put a very old World War II first aid kit in there, and then it is an artifact, and it's in a museum in Baltimore. But there was something in the tourniquets that over about, I'm not sure how many years it took to turn into an explosive, but it did. And anytime someone would try to open the box that it was in, it would like blow off one of their fingers.
Oh.
So definitely nothing explosive. Mm-hmm.
Food?
No, definitely don't want food.
What about batteries?
Batteries is a good one. Some of them can go in the trash if you scotch tape both ends. Some of them can. Most batteries you want to take, well, I'm not sure where your battery drop-off is in Fairfax, but we have one right up here. So car batteries, cell phone batteries, any type of battery can go there.
Electronics and stuff?
Electronics do not go in your recycling bin because they get stuck in our conveyor belts all the time. So they have wires and they're just,
They jam everything.
exactly.
Because the wires painful.
Exactly. So we had a wire wrapped around one of the conveyor belts, and it kind of put everything on hold today for a couple minutes because of the fact that it was just wrapped around in there. So electronics also goes there.
Why would batteries, like, if you don't scotch tape the ends in the trash, what would happen? Would it, like,
They
shock?
still have a charge. So even if they're considered dead, like they don't work in your remote anymore, they still have a charge. So the scotch tape neutralizes the battery.
But what if you don't put it, like, would it shock the...
It won't shock anyone, but I mean, it's just a precaution because a couple years ago we had a truck that was, I think, traveling from here, DC to Texas, and it had like a truck full of dead batteries. And because there's just a little bit of charge in each of those batteries and the weather conditions and friction, it made the truck blow up. So,
The truck?
yes.
Were the people okay?
No. The truck blew up, of course not. They were definitely not okay. But what happens is that so many batteries with so little charge, all of that makes a big charge, especially if it's hot enough. And if they're moving fast enough, there's friction between the batteries, that'll definitely cause a spark. Wood, that's a good one. Wood does not go in your recycling bin, but it can be reused. So it's not necessarily recyclable. The only thing they can do with it is make it into wood chips after a while. But you can always take it to wherever they would take wood in Fairfax, so we take it up there too.
Does ammunition go in the recycling bin?
Ammunition does not go in the recycling bin, neither do like firearms, but if we're obligated to like report if we get it. Especially like empty shells, that means like something was fired out of the weapon, so we have to report that.
So, like, when was this started? When was the recycling center opened?
1991,
Oh, okay.
so it's a while ago. So we do not put dangerous things in the recycling bin, right?
Yeah.
The biggest threat, I guess, for us right now is like needles. We get a lot of needles on the line, and people get stuck with them a lot. So a couple times a month, they'll have to stop the conveyors because a couple times a week there's needles on the line. A couple times a month, people actually get stuck with them or they get cut with them. So they definitely can't have those. But they come in the recycling bin a lot because doctors' offices tell people with diabetes to put them in their recycling bin. But actually they have to call and get a pickup for them. So that's not good. Another thing that's really, really bad for us is pesticides. Why do you think pesticides are like our biggest, not biggest fear, but like we hate them? They are toxic.
And chemicals and they're toxic.
They're horrible, right? So we have a perforator, and the perforator is also a flattener. So it flattens it and puts holes in it because it empties it and it makes it easier for baling, like when we put it in a baling machine.
Because that's how all
Exactly. So we don't know if this is empty, if it's full, if there's actually pesticide in it, if there's water in it. We don't know. We don't know how old it is, if it's flammable. Like, we don't know anything about it. So when we see these, we don't even touch it. What do you think we do?
throw in a perforator.
No. No.
Can't we not get over?
So we stop all the conveyor belts and we run away. Like, we literally escape the building. Everybody has to leave. Even if, like, we're on a tour in here, if there was a pesticide on a conveyor belt, they would call me and say, Vicky, you guys have to go. So everybody has to evacuate.
When you evacuate, would you have to call somebody to get?
Yeah, so there are people here that they actually have to go through our safety training to be able to handle even just a container. But if the pesticide got everywhere, it got all over the conveyor belts, the chemists from the hazardous materials have to come down and they have to clean the conveyor belts and let us know when it's okay for us to even be around it, because we've had these combust before and they put people in the hospital just from smelling or inhaling entirely too much of it. So we definitely don't want these. Hazardous materials. So like wherever there's a hazmat drop off, you can take it. Some places actually, some counties will pick these up from you instead of like putting them or saving them to go there.
So you couldn't even clean it out and then put it in the recycling? You couldn't even
No,
wash it?
because we don't go and touch it until like everyone leaves. So as long as we see it, even if they smell and don't see the containers, then still have to leave. It's worse to smell it first though, because then we don't know what it is.